2, 1, go!
Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it's KingNido here and welcome to Ferrum, where today the Mines are hosting the Cinnabar Flare, and the Flare desperately want to get away from that twisted spoon position near the bottom of the leaderboard as they send out Rapidash and Talonflame to start out this matchup, whereas the Ferrum Mines are starting out huge with Starmie and Slowbro, who both have that water typing advantage over the fire types as Talonflame shares its power with Slowbro. But Starmie goes with the Strength Sap onto Talonflame. It's going to greatly lower Talonflame's attack stat there. Rapidash though, going with a stab Fire Fang onto Slowbro. It's not very effective. That stab might have helped a little bit, but Slowbro responds with a Spore, which is going to put Rapidash to sleep very early on in this matchup. So it's a good start for the water psychic types, as Talonflame with a taunt is going to prevent Slowbro from going for its attacks. At some points it may struggle, as that Fire Punch from Starmie is going to fail because of that Flash Fire ability that Rapidash has, so it gets a nice stat boost there. But Talonflame with a Hex, this is going to be super effective on the bro as Slowbro takes that damage. Starmie though responding with a Psychic Fangs onto Rapidash. That is a great hit there by Starmie, as Rapidash is still asleep, no idea what happened, as Slowbro is going to struggle thanks to that Torment. Does hit Talonflame, but huge recoil damage. Slowbro is barely hanging on already in this matchup as a skill swap from Talonflame onto Starmie. Talonflame will get that analytic ability, but Starmie now has the Flame Body, which will be useless against the fire types. They can't be burned, but Starmie with the Fell Stinger continuing to target the sleeping unicorn here. That Fire Horse takes very not effective damage, but has woken up and goes for the Smog onto Slowbro, trying to finish it off, but that doesn't get the job done. But Slowbro is going to struggle again, goes for Rapidash, but that struggle will finish Slowbro off because of that recoil damage. Slowbro is eliminated with Flare, get the first elimination of the matchup, as Alakazam comes out onto the field, and a Night Slash from Talonflame to Starmie, a huge critical hit. That Strength Sap earlier on might have just saved Starmie from being eliminated, as a Trick Room is performed by Alakazam, twisting the dimensions, and Rapidash with a Bite, another super effective hit onto the Psychic types. But Starmie with a Floral Healing is actually going to restore health to Talonflame. This will get Talonflame back to full strength. What a strange way for Starmie to respond after taking that damage from Talonflame, but the Dragon Rush from Rapidash is going to finish Starmie off, and the Cinnabar Flare are off to the start they need. But Alakazam with the Zap Cannon is going to finish off Rapidash. A great response there by the Psychic types. Talonflame has an opportunity here to eliminate Alakazam, but instead goes for the Charm. Instead of going for the offensive move, it will lower Alakazam's attack stat, as we have an evolution in Flareon come onto the field, and Mr. Rhyme coming out for the Ferrum Mines. Flareon with the acrobatics does get that elimination on Alakazam, so it is a 3 versus 5 battle on the side of the Cinnabar Flare. But a Dazzling Gleam now from Mr. Rhyme won't be very effective on either fire type, hitting both of them at once. And Talonflame with a Synthesis. Talonflame seems to enjoy being at full strength here, getting its health back up there. This is a great start. As I said, the Cinnabar Flare want to get away from that bottom position on the ladder, as Rapidash in its Galarian form now comes out for the Ferrum Mines, and that Dragon Breath won't affect it due to that Fairy type in it, as Mr. Rhyme wants to bear a grudge at its target. Now Rapidash with a knockoff onto Flareon. Great hit there from the Unicorn, as that Morning Sun Talonflame again trying to restore its health, but is still at full strength. Like I said, it wants to stay at full health, but the Autotomize now from Flareon is going to greatly boost its speed. It may become the fastest Pokemon on the field. Mr. Rhyme with the Lick onto Talonflame, and that doesn't do a great deal of damage. Just Rapidash with the Reflect is going to make the Ferrum Mines stronger against physical type moves, and Talonflame with the Lunar Dance. After restoring its health so many times, it has taken itself out of this matchup. Talonflame is eliminated as the dimensions do return to normal, and Darmanitan comes out. It is that shiny Darmanitan, as well as Flareon with the Discharge is going to hit everybody on the field, including its own teammate, but it has left Mr. Rhyme with the Paralysis. This could be good for the Cinnabar Flare, but that Thunder Punch from Rapidash finishes Flareon off. What a great hit there by the Psychic type, and Darmanitan responds with a Petal Dance going for Rapidash. Rapidash taking that damage as Mr. Rhyme with the Aura Sphere onto Darmanitan. Darmanitan takes that hit. Both sides have 3 Pokemon left as Arcanine comes onto the field. With that Intimidate ability, is going to lower the attack stat of both Mr. Rhyme and the Galarian Rapidash here. Now the Pheromones want the victory here today. They want to get up into the Master's Aid as a double kick from Rapidash onto Arcanine. Connects both times. Arcanine is going to respond with a growth instead of going for the physical move. It does boost its physical stats, its attack stats, sorry. As that Petal Dance continues from Darmanitan onto Rapidash. Rapidash, if it takes one more of those, will be eliminated. And another grudge is being bared by Mr. Rhyme. Now Rapidash with the Whirlwind sends Arcanine back to the bench. Surely it should have gone for Darmanitan to finish off that Petal Dance nice and early as Magma is dragged out onto the field, and Darmanitan finishing off the Petal Dance goes for Mr. Rhyme instead and is left confused due to that fatigue after performing that Petal Dance. And Mr. Rhyme with a dance of its own goes with the Teeter Dance. This is going to confuse Magma, Darmanitan and Rapidash. See if this actually helps the Pheromones as it runs the risk of Rapidash hitting itself in its confusion. It needs to shake it off here. And Rapidash is unable to, so Rapidash is able to hold on though, almost eliminates itself. Darmanitan also strikes itself in its confusion. That's more to the Pheromones liking, and now Magma has to try and shake it off, and it is unable to, so everyone struggles with that confusion here as Mr. Rhyme is unable to move due to that paralysis, and the Reflect now wears off on the side of the Pheromones. Rapidash still in its confusion this time does shake it off and goes with the Hyper Voice, and this will eliminate Darmanitan, putting the Pheromones in front for the first time in this matchup. And now Magma, still with its confusion, is also able to shake it off, but goes for the scratch on Rapidash, getting that easy elimination and leveling the playing field here. It's now a 2 versus 2 battle, but Mr. Rhyme with a Storm Throw, very impressive critical hit. Magma is able to hold on though as Exeggutor comes out onto the field, and they've got a Grass type and an Ice type out now as Arcanine gets the benefits of that healing wish that was performed earlier, getting itself restored back to full health thanks to Talonflame. Mr. Rhyme and Exeggutor having their stats lowered thanks to that Intimidate ability coming into play again, as Arcanine with the Reflect type is going to copy that Ice Psychic type of Mr. Rhyme, and Magma snapped out of its confusion now and goes with the Splash. But after starting off with 2 Water types, we now have, as I said, an Ice type and a Grass type on the side of the Pheromones, but Exeggutor goes with the Substitute, so it cuts into its own health to put that Substitute out there. This could actually be a good play. Arcanine with the Water Pledge does go for that Substitute, which won't be very effective, so it's going to stay there on the field. Magma though sets up a Leech Seed onto Mr. Rhyme, who wasn't able to move again due to that paralysis. Exeggutor though comes onto the field, and we're seeing a Spore again being performed. This is going to put Magma to sleep. You have to think it should have gone for Arcanine, as Magma is an easy target for Mr. Rhyme to go for, who tries for the Sheer Cold, but it doesn't affect Arcanine. That Leech Seed coming into play, Magma is able to restore some health, taking it from Mr. Rhyme. That would have been fantastic to see a Sheer Cold in this matchup, a one-hit KO move, as the Fire Punch from Arcanine eliminates Mr. Rhyme. Super effective hit, and the Cinnabar Flare have only got to take down Exeggutor as well as its Substitute first though, as Exeggutor does make a quick appearance back on the field and goes for the knockoff, trying to eliminate Magma, and it does, so we are down to Exeggutor versus Arcanine. Arcanine has to get through that Substitute first, and Arcanine going with the Liquidation onto the Grass type. It won't be very effective. Can it take down the Substitute? It does, so Exeggutor no longer has the Substitute in play, but it goes for a Fissure, and it's gonna connect. It is a one-hit KO. Arcanine is eliminated, and the Pheromones have held on here today and gotten the victory with a very impressive one-hit KO move there by Exeggutor. That's why you send it out, and that will move the Pheromones up into 5th place. The Cinnabar Flare stay where they are on the ladder, but this does not help. This is their 3rd loss in a row. They're going to want to do better next round when they face the Sir Chester Frost. The Pheromones next round will be facing the new Morphle Devils, but in our next matchup, it will be the 1st place Coney Spring taking on the Heart Home Haunts, who are trying to get themselves up into an Elite Four position. But until then, Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.